Arch Advocate Podcast YouTube version. Please do hit subscribe down below. There's a point of this story in Jussie Smollett that nobody else is talking about. I've not heard. Maybe somebody's talked about it, but I haven't heard about it. Look, the Democrats, the left, or the progressives, or whatever it is that you want to call them, they have painted themselves into a corner, and there's only one way out, and it's a catch-22. So it's damned if you do and damned if you don't. Now, Jussie Smollett is off as far as the state crimes that he was accused of. That's all gone. Sure, there's a federal matter, but there's something else that nobody else is talking about. You have to look at this. There are two men that are still accused of a crime. These are two black men from Nigeria. And as the left has taught us all, right? As the left has enlightened us all that there's no such thing as migrants anymore. Now, anybody from another country, particularly a shithole country, they're not migrants. They're refugees, man, you white devil. These two refugees, who are not white, as Jussie Smollett had indicated before. Jussie Smollett said that two white men attacked him. Those two men, the two brothers from Nigeria, are still being accused of a crime. A crime that when they were asked by the police, when the police came to them and said, listen, you guys, we're here to accuse you of a crime. Now, did you do this? They said, of course we did it. Of course we did it. We're actors, and this man, who is a famous actor who makes $1 million a year or whatever, he paid us $3,500. So we did the thing that he paid us to do. Of course we did it. So these two innocent men are left to hang by the tree that Jussie Smollett himself planted. Jussie Smollett said that two white men beat him up, poured bleach on his skin, and put a noose around his neck whilst wearing MAGA caps and yelling, "This is MAGA country, biatch." Or wait, no, he said, "This is MAGA country, the N-word." You know what the N-word means. I won't say it on YouTube. That's what he said. Now, those two men are sitting there in jail right now, or wherever they're at, and they're still going to be processed. Now, this is the catch-22. Now the left either has to allow those two innocent men, because we all know that they're innocent. Jussie Smollett said two white men. Those were two black men. They were also friends of his. They were also men that wrote a check to him. There is nobody on the Smollett side of this argument that is saying maybe it was somebody else. We already know it was those two men because they confessed to it. Do you understand that? Those two men, those two innocent men, are going to go to prison. These two poor refugees, they're going to go to prison. And the only other way that this can work itself out is if they let those men go. Now, what would that do? What would that mean if they let those two men go for confessing to a crime of aggravated assault? That means assault with special circumstances, a felony. What would that declare to the world if the Chicago Police Department, if the judicial system of the state of Illinois said, we have two criminals who have confessed to a felony assault? What would that say to the whole world if they let them go too? What would it say? Now listen, you guys can sit around and speculate all you want about Jussie Smollett's relationship to Kamala Harris, his relationship to Mike and Barry Obama, those two dudes that were married to each other and were one of them was the leader of the free world for 8 years. We can sit around and speculate about that all we want. But the fact of the matter is that at this point, it's just speculation. But you know what isn't speculation? There are two innocent black men from Nigeria right now being left to twist in the wind. You know what that term means, twist in the wind? Like where we get that from? I mean, they used to hang people from trees, and when the wind would blow, the body would flop around in the wind. These two innocent men are being left to twist in the wind. Does Jussie Smollett care? Oh, hell no. No. He's got to preserve his victimhood, man. He's fighting, in his words, he's fighting for the movement. Hey, man, if you want to make an omelet, these two black dudes from Nigeria, we're going to have to break their eggs. This is the left. They will send you to prison even if you are their friend. They will send you to prison even if you're on their side. This is who they have become. So don't lose this part of this story. Watch as this part of the story develops. Let's watch what happens to those two innocent men. Because what happens to them is going to tell you everything you need to know about this case. So stay tuned. Keep your ears open to what goes on with those two men. And hopefully Jussie Smollett gets some federal charges brought on him for mailing himself a bag of or an envelope full of crushed up aspirin. That's the episode for today. Please do hit subscribe if you're into podcasts. Today's show is if you want to hear the whole episode of today's podcast, that's all I talk about today is just the concept of these two guys. It's down in the links below. And if you don't do that, please do hit subscribe to the YouTube channel. I would appreciate it. And tell your friends about it. We'll talk to you another time.